Nobody not selling out, we talking fast. I been to Guyana, man, I have to go back. The way out the country looking, man, they left me shocked. Who's ever in charge, them put we on the map. The men, them look healthy, the girls, them look hot. I went to a meeting, I don't know if chicken curry, them Guyanese eating, man. The government work. The government working, 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 the government working. This one's for them haters, who attacking Guyana. Show them your little finger, show them your little finger, show them the 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 little finger. The government working, 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 the government working. Don't mix me with politics. I hear the Guyanese critics. I just want the country fix. Man, I come for some kicks. Can leave the bumper fake. We call it a camera trick. And if you rest it to me, I still give it some licks. The government working, 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 the government. This is for the hater, for the hater. This is for the hater. We're running down Guyana. For the hater. Show them little finger. Show them your little finger. Little finger. Show them your little finger. Little finger. Show them your little finger. Government working. The 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 government working. Now don't mix me. Don't mix me. The government working. I don't do politics. Just get jacket, right? Get jacket.
Hey yo, my G, where you from?
Guyana.
Ghana?
No, Guyana.
Yeah.
Hello, Wagwan.
Yeah.
I came from a land. It have many water, many great sons and many daughters. And we have the land, you were many acts, so we never see Katrina, nah, those disaster. I feel nice, we come from the golden city. Girl born in gold dust, so we show them pretty. The man full of faith, me nah know none must slippy. Guyana, me say big up on no city. Cause this is the dear land of the free, land of the many waters, resources and trees, land of the rivers and seas. I proud, Phoebe, Guyanese, land of the Amerindians, the Africans, the East Indians, and Portuguese, not to mention the Europeans and the Chinese. Them feel blessed from Guyana beach breeze. Cause enough people tour around the world and ask about Guyana, but don't know where that is. That is the last city of El Dorado in the world. That is the land where we live. Land of the biggest one-drop falls. Plus we have the longest floating bridge. We from South America, some say the Caribbean, but still a thanks we a give. Alright, 1, 2, mic check. View from gravity, are the nicest. Match time, my city, are the hypest. We see them gyal wind up in a some liquor tight dress. We are hustle from morning till night catch. Them finno Guyanese get a youth not like rest. House and car, them finno we like press. Check the bank line them. We not like check. We got gold and diamond, them think priceless. Timber bauxite, then check the.
Wake up, good days, man, can I feel the crew? Turn your dial for your vibe, we're ready to go. With Courdel Jones, you know it's gonna be real. From 8 to 9, bringing vibes you can feel.
News and what's hot today will keep you wide in every way. Livewire, tune in and feel the spark. Every morning lighting up your heart. Courdel's here, bringing life to your day. Monday to Friday, we're paving the way. Wake up today, it's bright time to feel the flow. Turn your dial to Livewire, we're ready to go. With Courdel Jones, you know it's gonna be real. From 8 to 9, from 8 to 9, bringing vibes you can feel. News, views, and what's hot today will keep you wide in every way. We'll keep you wired every way, in every way. Livewire, tune in and feel the spark. Every morning lighting up your heart. Courdel's here, bringing life to your day. Monday to Friday, we're paving the way. Stories that matter, we got the scoop. From the latest headlines to the local truth. It's
good morning to you, and welcome to another episode of Livewire with yours truly, Courdel Jones. It is the 16th of June, 2026. Thank you for tuning in to yet another episode. Morning to the persons joining us across the 10 administrative regions. Morning to the persons joining us across the diaspora. Special good morning to those persons in the comment section. I hope you guys had a restful evening and you're ready for today's activities. With that being said, y'all by being up till 4:30 this morning. I literally had to beat myself out of the bed to get. I had work to do. So I was up late, trying to get everything done. I'm currently still sending it on the transfer software here on the computer. It's a big file, so it's taking some time, you know. So at least I was happy I was able to complete the task, which my superiors know me to do. Finish the task within 24 hours. And I was happy about that. I haven't done that type of work in some time, to actually sit and edit stuff and those kinds of things. So, it was fun. And then it reminded me what video editors have to deal with. That aside, we've got a couple of things to discuss this morning. A few of them in passing. I didn't really want to pay too much attention, or well, I want to pay attention, but I don't want. Anyway, I want to do it. So yesterday, chairman for parliamentary committees were were selected or elected. However, it's done. It was done, and several chairmen for these committees, chairpersons for these committees were installed. And the one that jumped out at me, and sometimes life is so ironic. Imagine you're the head of a committee that dealing with everything overseas, and one of the main places for you to deal with these things overseas, you can't even travel and go. What if the Foreign Affairs Committee, whether it be the chair, and a couple of the members, or the whole committee, get invited to something in the US? So now Guyana not only has a sanctioned opposition leader, right? Visa revocation or a visa being taken away is a form of a sanction. They got a sanctioned leader of the Foreign Affairs Committee. I don't know what Vishnu Pandey think he's going to accomplish on the Public Accounts Committee. This is the definition. Daniel said it the other day about some people, and it's something I hear rather often. Griper with no proper track record to pull himself up. But that aside, I ain't really focused on them things this morning. I want to take a little walk into the agriculture sector. We don't really get to, not a walk into, but a look at some misinformation that has been spread in the agricultural sector. And we don't usually spend a lot of time on this sector, but we pass it. We mention it in passing, right? But this morning, I want to take some time and look at some of the misinformation this guy continues to spread in relation to government plans, projects, policies, right? And just to be clear, Azadine and Win are once again proving that their political strategy is not fact. not farming, not food security, not development. It's just focused on misinformation. There was a recent attack on the Ministry of Agriculture. And I would say, dare say, it's another reckless attack and reckless attempt to take technical agricultural policies and twist them into political scandal. This is what WIN does. They take a number, strip away the context, inflate it, weaponize it, and then run to social media, hoping people will not check the facts. Now, there's a claim that the Ministry of Agriculture, through the National Drainage and Irrigation Authority, is spending $2.8 million to clear 1 acre of land. I want to say to you this morning, that is completely misleading and politically manufactured. I say this without fear of, Aubrey Norton has used this phrase. I'm saying this without fear of successful contradiction. The actual price for clearing land under the structured arrangement that the ministry has is between $180,000 and $240,000 per acre. Now, this is depending on the vegetation density and the level of clearing that is required. So that means that us and the visa revoked chair of the Foreign Affairs Committee are slightly off with their number. They are widely wrong. They are trying to turn a farmers support program into a fake scandal. Farmers are being provided with up to 5 acres of land clearing services free of charge. That is the real story, Sardine. That is the development story. That is the farmer support story WIN does not want people to hear. 5 acres of land can be cleared free of cost for farmers. Now, this program is designed to bring more land into cultivation. This program by the Ministry of Agriculture. Expand agricultural production, support farmers, increase food supply, and strengthen Guyana's food security agenda. You guys have been hearing President Ali, the Prime Minister, the Vice President, Minister of Agriculture, lament about Guyana's food security and ensuring Guyana can feed itself. Now, instead of applauding a program that helps farmers clear land at no cost to them, well, for the first 5 acres, and then at minimal cost going forward, us and the ass parade, the ass bandwagonists are trying to poison the public's mind with fake figures. Right? Now, I want to divert a little bit. I noticed that they got a video online with a lot of Indo-Guyanese in it. People are saturnized, cackling. Saturnized they keep in. Right? Telling us about somebody and them and something. About, what was it about? I saw it in passing. Actually, the caption that caught my eye is, the caption says the PVP supporters complaining. Right? And then there's a lady and a guy who's taking him to some home or somewhere. And they're saying that this person said, because the PVP win the elections, they in charge now. They can do what they want. Now, I am saying to y'all here, If I had a grievance, right? And I know that the person that got the grievance may be affiliated, or I see them in a PvP jersey, something like that. And then on social media, I see an ass going around to communities, and everybody, all of a sudden, the president got a cousin or some family in every single village, because everybody is the president family, everybody is the president friend. You understand? So they're telling people all across Guyana they're gonna do it or what? Let's be realistic, people. Right? If persons feel slighted, your aim is to convey your side of the story. Right? And your side is not necessarily 100% truthful. It's natural when people feel like things are not going their way and there's an avenue, although the avenue is unable to do anything to help them, they will embellish the story a little bit to make it sound more, oh gosh, let me do something for them. Oh. You understand? So none of that foolishness that they post, it don't move me. But you know what they don't post? They don't post the top up. People getting Edmore. Edmore, big up yourself. Right? Edmore get a new... Don't let me include the Edmore martyrs in his foolishness. But thump him up. It didn't make social media though. They got good sense. Right? But back to agriculture. I am saying to y'all this morning, right? Azadin Mohammed is not defending farmers. Azadin Mohammed, Team Win are using farmers, fishermen, Guyanese as political props while attacking a program that directly benefits the same people he is lobbying for. Right? He's using them as political props. If Azadin, us, or Team Win, or Team Mohammed's cared about farmers, they would tell farmers that the government is helping them clear land. Go and see how you can get some help. Instead, you're trying to make farmers suspicious of the very program designed to support those farmers. This is not leadership. This is political sabotage dressed up as accountability. The Ministry of Agriculture is working to expand production. Ass and the wind that comes out of the ass is working to expand confusion. Plain and simple. The ministry is clearing land. Wind just muddies the facts. The ministry is helping farmers. Ass is helping misinformation travel faster. Now, AS's figure is not supported by any official costing, the 2.8 million that he's claiming to clear lands. No official costing. So there's nowhere in this country, online or physical paper, that you could go and see an official costing for clearing an acre of land at 2.8 million. There's no technical assessment that allows for a 2.8 million charge. Even the program, there's no program data that supports that. It's complete political fiction. Complete. Right? And he does this without fear, favor, affliction, and a lot of ill will. Right? That you get from Azadin. When you inflate 180,000 to 240,000 per acre cost, into 2.8 million per acre. That is not scrutiny. As that is deception. That is the danger of putting serious national issues into the hands of people who prefer to perform or prefer performance over policy. Agriculture is not a Facebook gimmick. Land clearing is not a slogan. Guyanese food security is not a campaign prop. These are technical matters and require planning, machinery, soil knowledge, drainage understanding, and proper costing. Us and team wants to reduce all of that to one fake headline. They continue to show us how irresponsible they are. This is the same pattern we see over and over with this ass who is a fool, a fugitive opposition leader. The arsewin throws out a claim, his people amplify it, and then the ministry has to waste time correcting deliberate political mischief. Let me give you another scenario. Just the other day, when we had the heavy rainfall, we had some heavy rainfall in the past couple of days. But about a week or two ago, we had some heavy rainfall. The entire cabinet, Minister Mustafa, out and about. I saw Lionel, as this man last name, this always messed me up, Lionel Wordsworth, I think it is, head of NDIA, a bunch of ministry staff. Mind you, he wasn't the only minister out. The whole cabinet was out. Everybody found out wherever they had flooding areas to assess and see what remedies that they could put in place to get things done. Right? Minister Mustafa is out making sure he understands what's the issues with people, checking to see what's damaged, seeing how they could offer some assistance, ensuring that pumps are running so that the water is coming off the land quickly. Lo and behold, an ass is to go and make a video claiming, I think it's Pleasance Pump Station or Pleasance Pumping working. Right? The minister now who already on the ground doing what we got to do. The ministry staff get wind of it, inform the minister. The minister now got to go back to Pleasance Pump Station. I remember the video because he's standing here, Lionel Wordsworth standing there, and the pump pipe right behind them gushing out the water into the sea, over the seawall, pumping the place. Right? So the minister and the head of the National Drainage and Irrigation Authority have to leave their work to go and reassure the public because of an arsewin and the misinformation that they're spreading. Y'all ever hear anything profound from this idiot Asadin? Other than nothing, they doing nothing. They doing nothing. They doing nothing. When he was confronted by Minister Zulfikar at one of the locations, remember he can't talk policy because he know nothing but agriculture. If you check the ministry's page, Minister Mustafa is out and around all over the place, dealing with aquaculture, fisheries matter, livestock, drainage and irrigation, seeds, fertilizer, this, that thing, black belly sheep, black giant chicken, all sorts of things. Right? Hold a second, people. Just a second. Just a second. So sorry about that. I want y'all to hear from the farmers as well. We can play some videos from these farmers and persons on the ground. Real people, right? Real people who would have benefited from this government initiative. So as I was saying to you, Minister Mustafa is out and about, in and out of Guyana, all around Guyana, pushing agriculture, pushing things agriculture. Right? Rice farmer, sugarcane farmer, dealing with Guy Suko that Vishnu Pandey F up and left for people to fix. That's the kind of headache Minister Mustafa have. You understand? And the very people who cause a lot of the problems in a lot of these sectors are now on the wind, crying, oh, they know what they're doing. Oh, they know what they're doing. And they were there. They had the opportunity to lead. And what did they do? What did they do? Right? So, Team Win will continue to throw out misinformation. One, as a deflection of their leaders' situation. And two, in a bid to confuse Guyanese. In a bid to shortchange Guyanese again, after robbing Guyanese of 1.9 billion, he wants to rob Guyanese of information that they can use to better the farming, to better the farm, whatever they want to do with it. Sorry, not information to better the farming, but information that will allow them to farm better, to save some money, because at the end of the day, 5 acres being plowed is 5 acres of, it would have been money, but the money that you'd have used to plow those 5 acres that you didn't have to use, you can now take that money and either invest it in fertilizer, you could invest it in something to diversify your crop. So if you plant in cash crop alone, you could probably buy 2 pigs or something with the money saved from the free 5 acres, and diversify your farm or invest into something, buy some piece of equipment, something, right? But Asadine is not going to go out there and let people know how they can benefit, right? Why you ought to hear from persons who actually care about agriculture, who actually got land to farm, and who actually interested in providing or was feeding the nation. That's the term I should use.
I'm planting right now. Planting and corn.
So what's the name?
And Jubacas.
From?
July 4.
These are not people behind no social media account. These are not people who hide in the face anywhere. These are real Guyanese with real land, with real acres, that looking for assistance and getting help. But an ass would walk around the place and pretend nothing is being done, nothing is being done. Nothing is in your brain. Fugitive offender opposition leader.
So much land them are clean up for you.
5 acre no, 5 acre them are clean and dig trench and thing. Yes.
So how it benefiting you?
Benefit good at least that you could get for plant now. Back in the days when I could get for plant, they might dig trench and so you could get for plant and down with planting. So plant with the flat land. You understand?
How much plant right now?
1,000 plant. You go down, you bunch near for right up.
1,000 planting. 1,000 planting. Sucker. How much Guyanese been complaining about the price of planting? Currently, we got 1,000 suckers heading into the system to provide planting, which can bring down the cost for Guyanese. But an ass would not know that. An ass will do what asses do, bray. They bray. Jackasses bray. Without having any clue or any understanding of how the initiative impacts the people. And again, I told y'all yesterday, these guys are very aware of all these government plans, projects, and initiatives. All of these things, this got costing for in the budget. But they're not going to inform themselves of the project and how it's benefiting people. I told you all yesterday, it seems, in my opinion, that whoever is looking at the budget, they identify pipeline projects to the government and run there just before the projects are implemented to make it seem like nothing is being done. Just like he went to Barbies with the fishermen at the wharf there under the bridge. That is work in progress to get a new wharf there. But he goes and he, nothing. Pleasance Market. Done design out and everything in the process of starting the construction for the new market. But he'll go there. Nothing, they doing nothing. You understand? That is the guy. That is the guy.
Yeah. Well, since the president going forward, the man say we land down and the man should do that. Yeah, the man promised how we need to fulfill the promise. You understand?
So you feel that the opposition really went yesterday and mislead people?
Man, me feel real bad about the thing. At least Audi not get no problem up here. Everything going good for Audi so far. You understand? Audi not get no problem. I think that shocked me yesterday. Me see there. Yeah, me like what going on. Me like what me see what happened there. Because me know at least the man promised you do something for you. Yes. The man say I promise you and you turn it back and forget about people up here.
Satisfied?
Me satisfied with the man at all time because we tell you do something, you do them. You understand? The man said the road come, the road keep coming all the time. Back in the days, you know, even could have drive on the road, you say so. You could have taken all off and go there.
The current, the Wi-Fi.
Everything, but you see, pose up on here, go and kill long Mara's side.
And mind you, when you listen to this young man is grateful for his 5 acres that he got plowed free of cost. Right? He's grateful for that. But he goes on to show you and say to you, hey, we used to take an hour to get out of here. Most likely they got a concrete farm to market road there so they could traverse easier. All of these things bring down the cost at the market, or it's supposed to. Some people don't apply it, but it's supposed to bring down the cost. Transportation from the farm to the market. Once you got better road, you get there faster, you're using less gas, less wear and tear on your vehicle. It's supposed to bring the cost down for the retailer, the consumer. In some cases it does, some cases it don't. Because we got some unscrupulous guy, and he's like Azadine Mohammed. Right? But you hear what this young man said? Aside from the plowing, road, internet, light in the area. This is the same area that an arsewin went and said, nothing is being done, farmers getting overcharged to plow land.
Back here, long time them places was bush. You could have taken all off and go there.
The current, the Wi-Fi.
Everything, but you see, pose up on here, go and kill long Mara's side. Back here, long time them places was bush. You could have barely could see if you see canal, now you could see canal clear and you could see the whole village clear. You understand? Yeah, buddy. I tell you.
These are the people that the administration is working for. These are the people that the administration is working for, not the aspirate. You understand? The public must ask a serious question. Why does Aswin keep getting the facts wrong on matters that are easy to verify? Is it ignorance? Because they got 1 and 2 ignoramus in the party there. You hear me? Or is it something that is deliberate? We must ask ourselves this question. Either way, Guyanese farmers deserve better than what Asadine and Win are doing for them. You know something? I'll say this much. I am not a fan of Darwin Best. And in time, y'all will understand who Darwin Best is, really and truly. But I could appreciate that Darwin Best understands that there got some Guyanese out there that mightn't be paying attention to the things that could help elevate them and make them better. So I've not looked at the whole videos or the presentations that he does, but I've seen him informing Guyanese about the bank that is coming and will make available $3 million to businesses to help develop them. I think interest-free as well, right? Interest-free as well. And that is what you want from a leader that helps you to better yourself, a leader that can point you in a direction so that you could get something to make your life better. That's what you want from a leader. You don't want you don't want a leader that is just misleading you, doesn't create any opportunity for you, doesn't create any forward movement for you whatsoever. That's not what Guyanese want. That's not what Guyanese are looking for at this time. Every Guyanese out here looking for some kind of progress to make their life better. And some of them are unaware of those opportunities. And instead of informing people so that they can benefit, just being an ass.
Yeah, good day. My name is Philip Duki. I'm representing my uncle land at Maka for clearing the land, which promise was made by the president and it was fulfilled. Yes, the president was at Mara and we asked for this initiative to clean the land and it was delivered. His name is Beto Ramatar, known as Shir Boutique at Amsterdam. So he's going to be abroad on both sides. Most time he'll be in the country and he's clearing the land for cultivation. Yes, the land is already clear and we just waiting in the weather now to burn out those debris and start planting. Yeah, as you can see, the land was bushy, the amount of bush, and now it's been clear, which have an opportunity to plant or to invest. Yes, as you can see, the land, I don't know who is the owner of the bushy area, the land on to the right, but our land have been.
So I just want to play a couple of these guys. I'm going to upload the rest of several persons spoke out about the foolishness. I'm going to upload the rest of the Facebook page so that you guys can hear from persons on the ground. Not an idiot that riding in a fancy car into the area, misleading them. Right? Not an idiot trying to mislead them. This baby just send me a 2-minute voice note in the middle of me live. Serious Bevian, your messages have a flag because you're a regular watcher of the show. Sometimes it has a flag, sometimes it has a diamond. It's because you watch the show regularly. It's be at different tiers on Facebook, Bevian. Right? I can't listen to the whole voice note. When I'm done the show, I'm going to check it. Now, back to cricket. I was asking y'all just now, before I played that last guy, if it is ignorance or is it deliberate? The misinformation being put out by ASWIN. The land clearing program is a national agricultural development tool. It is about putting idle lands into productive use. and giving farmers practical help. And that is exactly why WIN is attacking it. Because they don't want the government success, or the successes, I should say, to be visible. They don't want farmers to know that support is available. They don't want rural communities to recognize that agriculture is expanding. They don't want the public to see the progress. So they manufactured out. They manufacture outrage. They manufacture scandal. But the numbers don't lie. Popcorn says so. The numbers don't lie. The real cost is not 1.8 million per acre. The actual structured cost is between 180 to 240,000 per acre, based on the type of clearing required. That is the fact. And everything else from Aswin, the fool, fugitive offender opposition leader, is nothing but small stage political theater. Now, let's deal with the poultry issue, because this is another area where misinformation is being pushed. The ministry's poultry policy is not random, right? It was not confusion. It was not contradiction. It was a responsible response to a biosecurity risk and food security realities. But again, an ass would never understand that. He would never understand that. The import control measures introduced in May of 2023 were designed to protect Guyana's poultry industry from serious animal health threats, right? Including, I think it's some inclusion body hepatitis, and I think it's an avian influenza risk. Those were the two issues, right? That is what responsible governments do. They protect local farmers, local producers, the national food supply, and the health of the agriculture sector in the country that they were mandated to manage and govern. Aswin Ital wants to pretend this was some simple political decision, but it was grounded in animal health concerns, technical work, and biosecurity planning. At the same time, the ministry also had to manage food supply and price stability. That means controlled imports. These were necessary and had a separate purpose to protect consumers from shortages and price shock. It's something like what the government is doing with the gas at Guy Oil. They could control that. So they absorb all of that importation cost. To keep gas at 208 when everywhere else is 250 something, 260 something a liter. These are two different policy instruments. One protects the industry from disease, the other protects national supply and affordability. Swin, the team are deliberately mixing them together to confuse people. Right? Deliberately mixing them together to confuse people. And I dare say to you, it's not analysis what WIN is doing. This is what you call mischief. A government can restrict private sector imports for biosecurity reasons while still using controlled, authorized, risk-assessed imports to stabilize supply. Those are not contradictions. Those are complementary tools. This is basic governance ass. But the wind that comes out of the ass is either too careless to understand it or too dishonest to explain it properly. The ministry acted through technical agencies, including the Guyana Livestock and Development Authority, to strengthen the biosecurity, surveillance, farm standards, vaccination protocols, monitoring, and disease control systems. That is serious work. That is the kind of work that protects the poultry industry from collapse. But ASWIN does not talk about that. They do not talk about surveillance. They do not talk about disease control. They do not talk about ports of entry. They do not talk about animal health threats. Why, you may ask? Because the truth is too technical for their propaganda. It's easier for them to shout scandal than to explain IBH or avian influenza or controlled imports or regional volatility or biosecurity protocols. That is the difference between a ministry doing serious work and an opposition movement doing serious mischief. The Ministry of Agriculture had to protect local producers while also ensuring consumers were not punished by shortages and high prices. That is a balancing act. ASWIN wants to pretend every balancing act is corruption. Every policy response is confusion, and every technical decision is a scandal. That kind of reckless politics can damage public confidence in programs that are actually protecting farmers, consumers, and this country, Guyana, that we're living in. The public must understand this clearly. Biosecurity is not a joke. One serious animal disease outbreak can devastate farmers, destroy income, send food prices higher than y'all already seeing them now and complaining about, and damage national food security. That is why the ministry took the precautionary approach. That is why surveillance was expanded. That is why animal health systems were strengthened. And that is why ASWIN's reckless misinformation is dangerous. They are playing politics with food security. When the Ministry of Agriculture protects the poultry sector, WIN calls it confusion. When the ministry supports farmers with the land clearing, they try to create a scandal by inflating the price way beyond what it is. When the government expands their agriculture, WIN tries to poison the conversation, not even to inform Guyanese who are entitled to benefit, how you could benefit. One of the things I admired from Dr. Jagdew in their opposition days, when he was opposition leader, I remember sitting and looking at his press conference, and he said something. If they got, this is under the Granger administration, Granger Minister Tabitha wasn't a blues clue yet, or a blues clueless yet. Hetzberger then was still working with Lowenfield. This is before he, let me use my words carefully there. This is before the rigging of 2020, to which Hetzberger was the office assistant or the personal assistant to the chief elections officer who currently in front of the court for rigging the elections. You understand? I lost my train of thought. Sorry. But at the end of the day, the ministry is doing what it needs to do to ensure that farmers are protected, that farmers can benefit from help from the government, and they're able to expand and grow and secure Guyanese food security. So what you see Win doing here is not opposition work. It is anti-development behavior. A serious opposition would have asked for data. A serious opposition would study the policy. A serious opposition would defend farmers, inform farmers. A serious opposition would protect food security. That is why the ministry and the responses that they usually have to do in these instances are important. They expose the difference between fact and fiction. Right? If the ministry had decided to just sit back and relax, we would have run away thinking they charged people 2.8 million to clear land, when I gave y'all the actual price here. On poultry, the facts are clear. Import controls were introduced for biosecurity reasons, while controlled imports were used separately to manage food supply and price stability. There's no contradiction there. There is only a deliberate attempt by Swinital to confuse the public. As must stop pretending that shouting wrong numbers makes him a watchdog. A watchdog checks facts. As is just barking misinformation. The people that follow Azadin must stop pretending that Yeah, they think I off me live by now. Yeah, we start late. Right? The people following Azadin must stop pretending that every development program is a scandal simply because it's being done by the government. Farmers don't need fake outrage. Farmers need land cleared, drainage maintained, markets expanded, production supported, and disease threats controlled. Consumers don't need political confusion. Consumers need stable food supply, fair prices, and a protected local agricultural sector. That is what the Ministry of Agriculture is working on. The ministry is focused on food security, as Ital is focused on political insecurity. The Ministry of Agriculture is focused on farmers. WIN is focused on Facebook. The Ministry of Agriculture is focused on production. WIN, AS, is focused on propaganda. The people of Guyana must reject this lazy politics of distortion. It is not enough for us to throw figures into the public domain and hope they sound scandalous. He must prove them. Azadin Mohammed must tell us where he got this 2.8 number from. Show us some documentation. Show us a receipt from someone who paid $2.8 million an acre. If you can't, Just as I said the other day, you're a piece of shit, Azadeen Mohammed. And you know what? When I win, because his figures already collapsed under basic scrutiny, people must start calling him out for this. People must start calling him out for this. Look how people behave. Well, let me mention that. The pattern with the fugitive offender opposition leader, right? And the win bandwagonists exaggerate, mislead, distort, then claim victim when corrected. But correcting misinformation is not attacking the opposition. It is defending the public from deception. The Ministry of Agriculture has a responsibility to set the record straight, especially when misinformation threatens public trust in farmer support programs and food security policies. The public must rely on verified technical and financial data, not politically motivated claims designed to create confusion. This is the bottom line. Guyana's agricultural sector is too important to be reduced to WIN's misinformation campaign. Land clearing, poultry protection, biosecurity, food supply, and farmer support are serious national issues. They must be handled with facts, not fiction. Us and team should stop trying to mislead the public and start doing basic homework before speaking on agriculture or any other sector. Research. Jesus peace. In closing, I want to say the Ministry of Agriculture is clearing land, protecting poultry, supporting farmers, strengthening food security, and using evidence-based policy. SWIN are clearing nothing but space for misinformation. That is it. You can't plant nothing there. Guyana must choose fact over fiction, farmers over propaganda, and development over deliberate political mischief. Right? We as a people have to make that step in that direction. We done with the foolishness. Anyway, guys, that's all the time I have today. Thank you for joining me on the program. Again, I'll see you here at 8 tomorrow. I'm sorry we started so late. Nevertheless, you get your hour. Peace and love. God is called me. The program got short, it's called. Anyway, I want to say to the Minister of Agriculture and his team down there at the Ministry of Agriculture and the various departments, you guys are doing an excellent job. Fisheries, livestock, drainage and irrigation. They got so much department. NARI, everybody doing wonderful work. Y'all continue to do that. And try not to be distracted by an ass. Try. Y'all try. Nevertheless, I'm out of here. Guys, y'all have a safe rest of the day. And as I usually say, before I go, it's all about peace, love, one Guyana.
We are a peaceful people, struggle as we struggle, and we don't look for trouble, just ask around. But when outside faces from foreign places talk about taking over, we We ain't backing down. We ain't giving up no mountains. We ain't giving up no tree. We ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one grass, not a blade of grass. This land is all